video we are going to talk about handstand fundamentals, and what I mean by that is the things you should know if you want to learn how to handstand properly. So I'm not mentioning throwing yourself up and maybe holding for a few seconds by chance. No, I am talking about consciously, mindfully getting into a handstand and to hold the position as long as you can, of course. This video is a little different, not a little, it's different from my usual uploads. I upload classes, so please let me know after watching this if you like this or not. If you like these kind of videos as well, I can keep creating more of these. Anyways, let's get started. Let's start with hands. Hands are important. Hands are the foundation during a handstand. First of all, you should know that you're not just placing your hands and going upside down. You are using those hands, using those fingertips, using those finger knuckles. Really using them. First of all, you should spread your fingers. So you shouldn't do this, but do this, okay? We need these surface. You're going to use this. So spread your fingers and press your finger knuckles down towards the ground. Really press, really push action there. And while you are pushing, you are also gripping the mat with your fingertips. It's like you are pulling with your fingertips, but pushing through your finger knuckles like a spider. And that is going to create a really well-grounded foundation for you. So let me show you what I mean. What I mean is I am pressing the knuckles, really press, and then gripping through the fingertips. See my fingertips, my hands, they are like spiders, and then I'm going upside down. You can see my body, but I am upside down. You can understand because you can see my feet anymore. And see the movement? I am keep using my muscles. Never steady. I hope you're seeing. Fingers, forearms, everything I'm using. And yeah, now it's time for arms and shoulders. Okay, now it's time for the arms. We have the hands in the packet. I use this a lot, the term in the packet, a lot during my, I did say a lot, anyways. During my classes, what I mean is, when we learn something or when we come into a realization of something, we put that into the packet. So we keep it. And then we learn new stuff, we add those stuff onto those things. Hands in the packet. So pressing the finger knuckles, gripping through the fingertips, and now firming the forearms in, which means that the inner part of your elbows should point forward and your triceps should be wrapped backward. See the difference? I'm not doing, I am doing. I am not doing, I am firming my forearms in, wrapping my triceps back. and I have super strong arms right now. If I add the shoulder support, super strong upper body, that's what we need. Super strong and active. So adding the shoulder support, the shoulder strength, you should really push your hands on the mat to the ground, and you should feel the gap between your shoulder blades. So not like this, not like this, but these all are actually for planks, handstands, like many things in yoga asana practice. But for handstand, of course, it's crucial. So let me show you. Hands in the pocket, firming the forearms in, wrapping the triceps back, feeling the gap in between my shoulder blades. And now I am ready to go because I have super strong upper body. I am using my hands, my arms, my shoulders. Now it's time for the trunk, the core. Time to talk about the ribs. This is one of the most common activations that we miss, which is most of the time when we go upside down, we flare out the ribs. We shouldn't do this. Instead, we should hug the ribs in. No flaring out, hugging in. You can understand this also in this way. Place your hands on your ribs, okay? And now open your chest. See, your fingers are getting far away from each other. And now use your exhale, really deep exhale, to hug your ribs in. And your fingers are getting closer to each other. We need this. We want to keep this. Do this. Flare them out. Hug them in. Flare them out. Hug them in. When you understand on a deeper level, at a deeper level, you can do that when you go upside down. So understand here, then try to put that into your handstand, okay? Maybe close your eyes. I always find eliminating the visuals, making strong understanding of these inner things. Hopefully you get it. Close your eyes and really feel the experience, feel the difference. And when you exhale and hug your ribs in, try to save it. Try to save that. Put that into your pocket. Memorize it, okay? That activation memory is important. And when you go upside down, we have already a super strong upper body, so that's check. Hugging the ribs in. And while you are hugging the ribs in, there is this movement as well that you are drawing up the lower belly. It's like you are slightly pushing your hip bones forward. And I also say to my students that it's like closing your zip, closing your pants. Know that we do that like, yeah, that, like closing your zip, squeezing the butt, hugging the ribs in. With a super strong, active, steady upper body, we are good to go. Now that we have all those activations in our pocket, it's time to learn how to get into a handstand. Before starting this part, I want to say that this is my point of view on the subject, but to my students, I do not suggest practicing with a wall. I suggest them to strengthen their body with a wall through handstand drills, or again through handstand drills help themselves to experience that experience of being upside down and get the body and the mind get used to that structure. The wall is super useful and perfect for that. But when it comes to practicing, like getting into a handstand, you should fall. You should fall from a handstand. At some point, you need to fall so that you can learn how to fall from a handstand. You're not going to fall once. I don't know how many times I did fall from a handstand. It's a lot.
Quite a few times.
50 times?
More.
100 times?
More.
200 times?
More.
500 times?
Probably.
But that's how I learned how to fall down. Because in yoga asana, we don't practice handstand solely, right? We are in a flow and we are getting in a handstand, getting out of that, and we are flowing. So you don't have a wall. And when you use a wall to learn at that point, you never face your fear. So your fear is always there. And if you don't fall down, the fear is always going to be there. Of course, it's super important to create an environment for yourself to feel safe. This is my point of view. Of course, do whatever feels right and safe to you. I can give you advice at this point. Even though you want to use a wall, you feel safe with a wall, right? Try to use a wall, but keep your distance from the wall. So instead of practicing like this, throwing yourself up and tapping your feet to the wall and the wall throws you back, instead of that, keep your distance. And when you go upside down, don't aim for the wall, because here, most of the people aim for the wall. Try to find the wall and then tap backward. It's not useful. But when you take your distance and when you do not depend on the wall, that can work. But you're going to also know that there is a wall, So I keep my distance. I'm not aiming for the wall. Sorry. But if I'm falling, I can touch my foot to the wall and fall safely. Anyway, okay, let's learn how to get into a handstand. One of the most common mistakes and the things we do at first is this. Trying to get into a handstand like this, with already a banana back. This is not useful. You might hold a few seconds of a handstand. You might teach yourself handstanding in this way, but then you're going to try to fix that banana back, and that is going to be longer, believe me. I'm talking from the experience. So, and fixing something is harder than learning something new because you need to relearn. So you need to reprogram all those settings. That is harder. Instead of doing that, do this. First, find your downward facing dog. Then inhale, lift the one leg up. Exhale. While hugging the ribs in through the exhale, pull the knee towards your chest. And then place that foot onto your mat. So you have already created that compression in your belly. You have already curved your spine, which is going to prevent you to get into a banana back. And now you are going to use the other leg as your gas. And that one is going to be the brake. So instead of throwing yourself up, tap, tap. First, maybe you are going to tap weaker than you should. It's totally normal. Then at some point, you are going to tap stronger and then you are going to fall down. But you are going to find that sweet spot with experimenting, by experimenting. So don't jump, but instead tap, tap, and then find the sweet spot. And here, instead of directly trying to find your two-leg straight handstand, keep the legs like this. Pull the knee towards your chest. Hug the ribs in. The gaze is in between your thumbs, pointing the toes, squeezing the butt, pushing the palms, keeping the arms straight. Let me catch your breath. No, catch my breath. That will be difficult. Okay, one key point, one cue that I've seen when I say that, my students' eyes are starting to spark. So, listen to me. When you try to go upside down, do not focus on your legs. Do not focus on bringing your legs up or over your shoulders. Instead, focus on your hip bones. That does the magic. Believe me, it's a mental thing, but it does work. So, when you are there, you are focusing, you're getting your mind, draw your attention on your hips. Do not think your legs. It's like you don't have legs at that point, right? You have your hip bones. You are busy with your hip bones. So you are focusing on the hip bones and you are trying to get those hip bones over the shoulders. Shoulders over the wrists, hip bones over the shoulders. Let me show you once again. Down dog. Pulling the knee, placing the foot. So when you are here, focus on bringing your hip bones, especially the one that belongs to this leg, the one that you are creating the compression. Focus on that hip bone. And again, start tapping. Tapping. And always focusing on that hip bone, getting that hip bone over your shoulder. Keep your knee close to your chest. That is going to prevent you to get into your banana. And hold it here. And then slowly get out of your handstand. At first, never slowly, but with time you are going to manage to get out of your handstand slowly. Yeah, so these are my cues, my key points, my advices, suggestions, I don't know, whatever you call it. But most importantly, believe me, the goal, the end, there is no end point, first of all. And if their rule, it's not the point. So really focus on enjoying the journey. Explore, experiment, play. There's nothing going to happen when you get your handstand, but the thing that is happening is your journey, that exploration, that spirit of play, that spirit of wonder. That is the magic. So really focus on enjoying the journey. Anyways, if you are looking for some help to really dive deep into this handstand world, if you want to commit to learning how to do a handstand properly, I have a program for that. I have created complete handstand guide. It starts from downward facing dog and carries you all the way to the handstand. There are schedules in it, there is a roadmap in it, so I am your guidance. Not only classes, but there is this whole structure of guidance. If you want to learn more about that, you can click in the description, in the link. You can click the link in the description down below. That was the thing. Sending you lots of love, light, and of course, magic. Extend your legs and release like this. With exhalation, float forward